Times have changed, tastes have changed. It has been 5 long years ever since Henry's passing. The country has moved into the Second World War, and the war effort was in full swing. The Fat Controller and his associates realized that this would inevitably lead them into bankruptcy.
Well, gentlemen, I have noticed from these figures that the revenue has gone down lately. I know in the last 20 years I have been working on Sodor, that we have never raised prices unless inflation demanded it, and the demand for rail travel has increased in the last decade. What do you presume is the culprit?
Well, sir, ever since the unfortunate passing of Henry, and seeing as you sold those other 2 engines to Doncaster, the sales have gone down in spite of limited resources to supply transportation.
Well, the only alternative to filing bankruptcy is to invest in another engine.
But sir, that will lead us to bankruptcy.
It's risky, but what other choice do we have, gents? I'd much rather go out knowing that I've tried my best to show improvement, rather than giving in like a ripe pillock.
The engines filed into Alfred early next morning.
Right, we're all to show up here for what reason? There's not a passenger in sight, and I'm still tired.
Shh, we didn't come here to hear you complain for what that's worth.
Oh, sod off, you little blue rat.
Oh, here's the Fat Controller. He must have called us here.
Oh, joy. Right, sorry to call you all here so early, but as you all can tell, the railway's not doing so well financially. As a last resort, I have called you all here to greet our newest member to the railway. Granted, he's coming all the way from Stratford and Greater London, but he left last night and should be arriving sometime in the next few minutes. Here is Alfred. He was made in the old Great Eastern Railway Works in Stratford, in Britain.
Hello, Alfred. Welcome to the railway.
I already don't like him.
Oh, be quiet.
Later that night, the engines were fast asleep. However, at one point in the night, Alfred left the shed. This awoke Gordon, who then fell back to sleep. I've got you now. This gunpowder will ignite you before you reach wealth. Oh, God.
Gordon was frightened and deeply angered by this dream. He told it to Thomas later that week. What? Wow, that's a nightmare.
What scares me is the realism. I saw everything.
It's just a nightmare, Gordon. They happen and we can't anticipate them.
I'm going to keep an eye on him, though. Something doesn't bode well with him.
Gordon's skepticism deprived him of sleep, so much so, he got up one night and idled in Alfred's goods shed.
Alright, you can stay here. Perhaps you can get some sleep now. I'm going home. It's rather late. Alright, driver.
Gordon then noticed 2 figures on the station platform. One was Alfred and the other was indistinguishable.
Wait, driver, come back. It's been several years ever since Henry's, accident. It's come to my attention that the gunpowder is arriving soon. Soon? You're not thinking of doing it now, are you? Not quite yet.
We still need to give the engines time to accept me as one of their own. They never suspected foul play, so they won't suspect little old me of anything.
You're very sly. We better leave now, it's almost light.
Good idea. Good night, my brother. Gordon thought it best not to talk about what he had heard. The next morning he and Alfred were double-heading a special to England. Gordon, what are we going to do?
You leave it to me. Henry was my friend and I won't let this happen, whatever it is.
The two then set off for Britain. Gordon felt nervous, yet hatred grew inside of him as they went along.
You are a quiet one, aren't you? I'm just tired is all. Barely slept last night.
Gordon's driver perked up. Gordon grimaced as he felt Alfred's buffers go cold.
Nice trip, wasn't it?
Alfred said nothing. The coaches were taken away and the two engines went to the sheds to rest. There were no other engines there.
So, you were built in Stratford, huh? That's right. I knew a B-12. He came from those works with the build number 98462. The Fat Controller scrapped him though, as he was rude and almost caused a big accident. The Fat Controller has that power, you know. So what? Well, this engine nearly, shall I say, caused a fatal accident in relation to Henry.
Alfred perked up, an angry look on his face.
You foolish A3. You heard last night, didn't you? Yes, I did. I know all about your little scheme. You want all the engines to like you, and then the railway goes up in smoke. They're smarter than that, you know. Apparently not. The Fat Controller has designated me to pull the Wild Nor'wester from now on. They trust me with their lives. The Fat Controller wants you as far away from the railway as possible, more likely. If that's so, then how did they not suspect me about Henry's death, They sound pretty ignorant to me. The weak engine with all the problems. I knew he was a failed experiment, and that they would never suspect foul play. You'll never touch them, not as long as I'm around. You can't stop this, you fool! A chain of gunpowder wagons are being propelled forcefully towards the sheds this very instant. I'll stop it. You shan't! I shall destroy your railway, and my class will take over. Enjoy the guilt. Oh my word! We'll shut up and get me back on! The workman lifted him back on the rails. With a loud whistle he pounded the rails back towards Sodor. We didn't order gunpowder vans. Well, shunt them into the sidings, we'll figure out something. Oh god, I need more speed, driver! You were going 100, the rails can't handle anymore. I don't care, just do it! Gordon's regulator was opened further, and he pounded the rails with a massive noise. Just a few more minutes, and it'll happen. We're at the border, just a few more miles.